Hello again, guys and gals. It's Brian, and we are back with a little bit of help for our good friend Peter over at Lazy Eyed Modeler. He was mentioning in comments that he had been having some trouble doing magnets under the under the hood of his car. And I said, I have a little bit of a trick, and if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to share that with you. And he said, yes, please do. So he's working on the 40 Ford also, but he's using a resin body, and it's a woody body, and it is looking really good. I understand he's been having some trouble with weather, so painting has been an issue. He wasn't able to finish on time, and he's struggling right now to keep up with everything because of weather. And man, I feel your pain. So it's one of the blessings about Arizona. All right, so magnets, fun with magnets or maggots or whatever you want to call them. What we have is a set that we got from Amazon because that river has everything. I keep them in a little pill jar, and it says magnets, or it used to say magnets right there. And then another thing is, I actually picked these up when I was at a show. This guy actually had plastic tip tweezers, and he was selling these, and I thought that is perfect for dealing with magnets, because we all know what happens when you use the metal ones with the magnets. Everything becomes magnetized. So first we're going to show you what we did for this little guy here, and we're going to pop off the hood. And we showed you before the ugliness. Well, we got the little magnets in there, and these guys are measuring approximately 1/16 of an inch by 1/32 of an inch. And that would be the thickness of it, I believe, the height of it or whatever. This particular set, I'm going to have a link down in the description below, the Amazon link down below, will actually have a set that comes with the drill bit. And that is very, very handy. I have a dedicated drill bit for these guys here, and you see how they're stuck to that little drill bit. That's the exact right size so that we can drill holes just like this. We're going to show you a clip right here. So there we go. The thing is that when we were working on our car, we drilled holes right here. You can see let's get a little closer. You can just see the magnet sticking through there. We had a little bit of blue paint on that, but it's worn off, sadly. But the thickness of the plastic on that little shoulder piece right there, and we have a junk body we can show you, is thin enough to the point where we actually ended up drilling all the way through. In that case, we actually went through on the back side and used just a little piece of styrene card, nice little thin piece like this here, and just cut off a couple little pieces and glued them to the inside to back up that hole so that that magnet wouldn't push through. Because when you drill a hole for these magnets with the drill, it's precisely the same size that it was exactly the right size it needs to be, so the magnets can get pushed all the way through. So we backed it up with a piece of styrene card. We cemented that in place, let that cure up and everything like that. And then we went and we placed the magnets down inside the holes, did a little bit of super glue down inside there, let those set up for a nice long time. Super glue sets up better when it has a lot more exposure to oxygen, and so it sets up really quickly when it's just a blob sitting on something. But when it's down inside a hole like that, in between a couple of dissimilar surfaces, it takes a little bit longer to set up. So we wanted to make sure we have a nice long time to set that up. Now, we did have a saving grace with this particular car, that we could get away with just surface mounting the magnets onto the bottom side of the hood, which was nice. It does have a little bit of a height thing, and I can probably go back and pop these magnets off, drill a little bit into the hood surface, and then put them back on again. We'll see. We'll investigate how that goes. But the trick that we did, and we'll use our magnet-proof tweezers and our little thing. And these guys, if you don't think they're strong, you don't know. I'm going to use the handy dandy thumbnail and pull one off of there. Put the rest back inside. There. Look at that little guy. The itty bitty little guy. So we've mounted these inside the firewall at the right height, and then super glued them in place, and the super glue is set up. Well, this will be tricky. Is it going to be right side up? There we go. Cool, yay. So, all right, so we got that stuck there, okay? That's stacked on top of there. And then all we did was we just added a little bit of super glue to the very top of that stacked magnet right there, and then set the hood on there. Did that on both sides. And just set the hood on there with the super glue on top of that second magnet, and we just walked away. Not too much. We don't want too much super glue so that it runs down the side of the magnets and glues the magnets together. These guys are pretty strong, so we want that glue to be nice and set up. And then we just walked away. Now you can use epoxy if you choose to, but mixing up epoxy to do a little dot like that, it's that's kind of a pain in the neck. But you know, if that's your choice, that's quite all right. Maybe you're already epoxying things together, you need to go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's the whole trick, was to first drill into the shoulder of the firewall piece, put a piece of plastic cardstock behind there to, and if you're doing the resin car, you're probably going to have to super glue that in place. But put that in place, let that dry up nicely, and then put in the magnet, drill, you know, drop the magnet in the hole that you just drilled. Let that set up really nicely, and then come back and then drop on the second magnet that you're going to be attaching to, and then just let that sit there and put a little drop of super glue or the epoxy if you want to onto that, and then just set the hood down and then walk away. I would come back in about, I don't know, 25-30 minutes just to make sure that everybody's setting up the way it's supposed to. Because of the experience I've had in the past, if you don't let that super glue set up long enough, if you get a little too curious, a little too soon, you're gonna just pick up the hood, and those magnets are gonna just stay stuck there because they are pretty strong. I mean, watch this. Yeah, see it snap right into place. That's pretty awesome. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Lucas today on the phone. We were talking about, you know, if we were going to modify our builds, what would we do? And I said, you know, I have the body actually white glued to the chassis because if I want to go and do some touch-ups on the clear coating like that, I can pull the body back off. But I had to glue the body to the chassis because when I was taking the hood off, I was taking the body off too. That's how strong these guys were being. So that's the whole trick. We just drill a little hole, back up if you drill too far down, you just back up the hole with some styrene card, and then we go back in and then drop the magnet in, glue, make sure that's glued in place nice and tight, and then just stack the magnets on top. Now sometimes, let's say we wanted to actually have to countersink that a little bit, I would just double stack the magnets like I had done a second ago, and then put a little drop of paint on there, and then touch the hood, take a look at where that paint comes out, that paint mark comes out, and then start drilling away. And that is the whole trick to using magnets that we like to use. If you guys have some other type of suggestion that might help out Peter, please do post a link to your channel down in the description below. Not the description, the doobly-doo, the comments down below, so we can help them out. All right, y'all, take it easy. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Peter, I hope this helps you out. We'll talk to you in the future. Bye now.